What's up guys, I'm Dmitry. Welcome to Deep Cool, where they're showcasing some affordable options, and it's really good to see something like in the $40 range entering the market, and it actually doesn't look half bad. So let's check out the Matrexx right after I thank our sponsor. Thanks to Phanteks, Thermaltake, and Cooler Master for bringing us out here and making Computex possible.
Alright good people, now it's Eber's time. Dmitry is not important. But before we get into cases, let's talk a bit about something else we noticed when arriving here. I know that all-in-one liquid coolers are everywhere these days, but Deep Cool's Gamerstorm division was showing off something slightly different. This is the Newcastle Series, which comes in 240 and 280mm versions. What caught our attention was the CPU block, which uses double window panels and an RGB array to create a really unique look. Actually, it looks pretty amazing in person, and it's great to see the manufacturers are stepping up their AIO game with cool new offerings. Those addressable RGBs can create up to 16.7 million colors and 36 different lighting modes. It isn't all about the looks either, since the water block's height hides a significant pure copper contact area and E-shaped micro water channel. Expect pricing for the Castle to run from $110 for the 120mm version and $130 for the 280mm version. Alright, so I know that this 240mm AIO might look a bit odd with that tube running from the block's base to the top, but there's actually some interesting technology behind this one. Gamerstorm have integrated an automated pressure adjustment function into the Captain's 240 Pro, which is supposed to significantly increase its lifespan and also stabilize temperature fluctuations. Okay guys, so now onto those cases which Dmitry talked about in the beginning. They all make up the Matrexx series, and Deep Cool has been able to leverage common construction elements to drastically reduce their overall cost. They'll come in three forms: a lower priced 55 series, 70 series, and a 75 series. There's nothing fancy here either, especially since with the Matrexx 55, which is a capable bare bones chassis, and if you want to upgrade later, there's always the 70 or 75. Every one of these cases here has a simple, sleek design with tempered glass and a thin addressable RGB strip. Those amazing looking RGB fans won't be included in any of the models, unfortunately, but Deep Cool does sell those separately. So let's start with the smaller Matrexx 55, which is the most compact case in this lineup, but it still natively supports 280mm wide eATX motherboards and costs just $50. In case you were wondering, the smoked side and front panels are made out of tempered glass rather than the acrylic we're used to seeing on such lower price cases. Airflow is pretty good since perforations run on both sides and the front panel from top to bottom, and there's also enough space between the fans and the TG panel to ensure nothing gets blocked. Internally, things are pretty plain, but there is a removable drive caddy, SSD brackets, and support for a front 360mm and top 280mm radiator. There are a few cable tie points, but don't expect things like a PSU shroud or other frills. This case is functional and straightforward, but it doesn't have many secondary features. The Matrexx 70 bumps things up a bit, but it also comes in at a higher price of $60, and that puts it into a very competitive market space. There's still support for eATX motherboards, and the 55's 280mm top radiator mount is replaced with a 360mm version. There are a few other additions, like the space for a bit longer graphics cards, more removable SSD brackets, and an integrated fan controller. Finally, we have the $90 Matrexx 75, and let's be honest with you, I'm not quite sure how it'll fare against cases like the Cool one, which we also saw at the show. Of course, it's the most feature-rich case of the bunch, but it keeps the overall aesthetics of the others. The big difference here is that the front panel can be swapped with either a mesh filter or a tempered glass panel by pressing a button. It's a really simple process, but I really do think Deep Cool designed the 75 around the mesh option, since there are no side ventilation holes like on the other Matrexx cases. Instead, when you install the tempered glass, the fan circulation is completely choked off. Another difference between this and the other cases is the latch system that holds the side panel to the case. Simply push the plastic latches and the entire thing can be removed. At the top, Deep Cool has added 3 plastic covers that close off the area in case you aren't using fans up there. The interior here is very much identical to the 70, with the exception of one additional SSD bracket, one more expansion slot, and support for a bottom mounted 240mm radiator if you use a shorter ATX PSU. So that's it from Gamerstorm and Deep Cool, guys. It's certainly great to see more entries into the affordable case market and the addition of 2 interesting looking coolers. Stay tuned for more coverage from Computex 2018. I'm Eber with Hardware Canucks. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.